It isn't just unaccompanied minors crossing the border. Congressman John Katko of New York says that Border Patrol told members of Congress visiting Texas yesterday that people on the terrorist watch list have been apprehended at the border. And just a few weeks ago, more than 10 Iranian nationals were caught at the border. So it is not just people from Central and South America, but also countries that are on the terror watch list. Now, the Biden White House is blaming former President Trump for the crisis, but Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, a Republican, says the Biden White House is incentivizing illegal immigration.
We are back to the days of catch and release. We've sent the message to people in Central and South America that if you bring a kid, you're going to be treated differently. Now more are bringing kids.
Psaki dodged a question on why President Biden is going on a vaccine victory lap, but not visiting the border during the growing crisis. She said the administration is looking to improve care for unaccompanied minors. Congressman Gaetz says President Biden is turning a blind eye to a sad reality.
I'm particularly concerned about the 100% increase in the number of family units traveling, because we know that they're not all real families. Sometimes those children are bought, rented, sold, tortured, abused during that process. And we've also seen a 60% increase in unaccompanied minors.
A group of House Republicans led by Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy visited the border in Texas on Monday, and they're concerned with a response from the White House.
We're a land of immigrants. We can continue to have that. But what's happening right now is beyond a crisis. It's a human heartbreak. And for our President of the United States to ignore it, he is the one who created this, and he is the one who can fix it.
But Psaki insists the Biden team will stop the surge.
We recognize this is a problem. We're focused on addressing it.
And here on Capitol Hill, the House is preparing to move forward on a pair of bills that would provide a pathway to citizenship for millions of illegal immigrants. But Illinois Democratic Senator Dick Durbin says that it's unlikely that the 117th Congress will pass any sort of substantive legislation in regards to immigration, with both parties so divided. Now, there's also talks that Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott could introduce his amnesty bill, which isn't expected to go far, but it could receive some support from moderate Republicans. However, Republicans want to see that the border security is a part of that conversation. But a pair of Republican senators have already told Scott they want no part of any amnesty legislation.
Even though the Biden administration is not calling the situation at our southern border a crisis right now, they are sure treating it like one, as thousands of people pour into the U.S. unchecked each and every day. Here to help us break this down is Texas Congressman, a man who knows the border very well, Congressman Brian Babin, back with us this morning. Congressman, good to see you again. Thanks for being with us.
Great to see you. Great to be with you.
I want to get into the FEMA situation just briefly. The administration sending in FEMA. The E in FEMA, of course, stands for emergency. I guess it doesn't matter what we call this, but the Biden administration certainly seems like they're treating this like a major crisis now, doesn't it?
Well, it is a major. In fact, it's not even a crisis. It's beyond that. It's becoming a catastrophe.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. The drug cartels now have control of our southern borders, basically, and Biden is making them rich. They're smuggling drugs, human trafficking, wreaking havoc on our national security, our safety, and our public health. And until they start doing something about it, it's going to continue and get worse.
Congressman, I know that you're heading to the border again very soon to see how bad it is firsthand. You've been in Texas all your life. The videos and the images that we see are terrible. You know, little boats crossing the river there at the border with children, babies, infants. How bad is the situation right now?
Oh, it's terrible. I've got good friends down there right now. Of course, I'm the co-chairman of the House Border Security Caucus, and that's who we'll be going down there with very soon, some of our Texas colleagues and members of our caucus. But basically, as I said, there are tens of thousands of people pouring across. I even had word that on one day they had nearly 6,000 come across. Huge increases in children. The cartels and migrants know our laws better than we do. HHS is opening up new facilities right and left in Midland and Dallas, Fort Lee, Virginia,
right.
Even in old NASA facilities up in Northern California. And we've had our Governor Abbott didn't get but about 12 hours of warning on that Midland facility that they're opening up there. They're putting between 700 and 1,000 juveniles in there. And we take their word for how old they are. They could be 25 years old, and say they're 17.
Of course.
It's an unmitigated disaster that is happening down and needlessly endangering our national security and the lives and health of our American citizens.
And here we now,
and
we're
the migrants.
Second half of March now, and the numbers for people crossing the border illegally have gone up in January, February, now March, and they're on pace to hit record numbers during the busiest time of year, April and May. Kevin McCarthy's delegation yesterday said this was, quote, disorder at the border caused by executive order, and I thought that was a nice way to summarize this. I do want to talk about a place where we see walls, not the border, Washington, D.C. President Biden and Nancy Pelosi have said for a long time that walls are immoral. Take a listen.
A wall is an immorality. It's not who we are as a nation. And this is not a wall between Mexico and the United States that the president is creating here. It's a wall between reality and his constituents.
Congressman, I know where your office is in the Rayburn building in Washington. You are just feet away from a 7-foot chain link fence with razor wire on top. I thought walls were immoral.
It's not even a chain link fence. It's a steel bollard fencing is what it is. And it's much more substantial than chain link, believe me. Look, I was in the Air Force station in Germany back during the Cold War. I've been through Checkpoint Charlie. It looks like Berlin up here back in those days.
Jeez, yeah.
And if walls are immoral, I wonder what she calls this up here surrounding our beautiful capital. It sends the absolute wrong message to the world for the United States and our freedoms and liberty. And quite frankly, it's okay to pull down the walls or discontinue construction of the walls. It's keeping us safe down on our border, but have this monstrosity up here and a disgrace. I've asked over and over again, what is the danger? Why do we have to have this wall, these thousands of troops? And we can't get an answer except that there's no real threat, and yet here we have it.
Well, voters will have a chance to answer that question in 20 months during the midterms if they get Nancy Pelosi, if they can get the gavel away from her. Final question to the House passing 2 bills that are going to strip Americans, a lot of Americans, of their Second Amendment rights. Those bills just passed. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are it's just another socialist attack. First, they keep you from expressing your opinions. Then they disarm you, so you can't protect yourself. This is the way socialists operate. You've seen it. You can read it in the history books.
Yeah.
But both of these bills they're just abominations. They're attacking the rights of lawful citizens who want to keep and bear arms, ignoring the fact that about 80% of all crime is committed by people who illegally own guns,
right.
And yet they're coming after ours. As a strong proponent of our Second Amendment rights, I can tell you that we're going to fight this tooth and nail. We're hoping that even though it passed the House, that we can continue to keep things from passing in the Senate because of the filibuster. And as long as we can keep them from getting 60 votes, I think we can keep this and keep Americans' Second Amendment rights protected.
Sir, great to see you again. Come back and see us soon. We should mention no socialist society has ever survived in world history. And I don't know why people aren't reminded of that more often. Congressman Brian Babin, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.